Well, the show can finally go on again. Almost a year to the day that Playhouse Square shut down because of the pandemic, officials announced the curtain will rise again this summer.
The Choir of Man will open at Playhouse Square June 11th for a month-long run. The president of Playhouse Square says it's exactly the shot in the arm the district and the city needs. News 5's Mike Brookbank explains why.
Really, for as long as we've been speaking, people have been telling stories. And there's no better place to hear one than Playhouse Square.
We know there's a pent-up demand. There's a pent-up demand 100 years ago when the theaters were built in the wake of a pandemic.
For Playhouse Square CEO Gina Vernacci, the irony is uncanny. A place that grew out of one pandemic a century ago plans to start anew near the end of another.
We're human beings. We're supposed to get together. And 100 years ago, people were lined up around the block to get in. I think it is so ironic that here we are 100 years later, reopening the theaters, coming exactly out of the same conditions as what we had when the theaters were built.
The Choir of Men at the Mimi, Ohio Theater will usher in Playhouse Square's post-pandemic relaunch. Opening in mid-June, the production, known as the Ultimate Feel-Good Show, will take on an even bigger billing, a giant step toward normalcy.
This is tremendous news for everyone at Playhouse Square, for everyone around Playhouse Square, all of the restaurateurs, the parking lot operators, the Crown Plaza, the hotel right there in the midst of Playhouse Square. What we do in the theaters is the driver for their business.
Vernacci says Playhouse Square made the decision to relaunch its offerings this summer because mass vaccination is currently underway. With guidance from Cleveland Clinic and UH, Vernacci says theaters will require masks and social distancing guidelines will be implemented. And although crowds will be limited, she's looking forward to seeing them lined up around the block just as they did a century ago.
We have all invented ways to stay connected, during this time, but there is nothing like live in the way that it just feeds your soul. It feeds the DNA, it feeds the marrow in your bones, and it really can only occur live in the theater.
Reporting in Cleveland, Mike Brookbank, News 5.
I absolutely cannot wait. And tickets for the Choir of Man are available on Playhouse Square's website. It will run June 11th through July 11th.